Thank you. Just moving along here.
Thank you. And Senator Ruston, again to you, Ms Ley, how do you win city seats with this policy? How do you win any of those seats back, including the Teal seats, with this policy, given your own failed candidates said that climate action was an issue for them at the last election?
Let's not misunderstand what climate action is. If people think that this government's approach to so-called climate action is working, then they should have a really good look at it, because it's actually not bringing emissions down. We brought emissions down. It's moving twice as fast and leading to 4 times as fast as the rest of the world. You have a Labor Party in government that cannot even explain how it will reach net zero by 2050, what it will cost to reach the 2035 targets that it has articulated. Now, our friends in the media didn't really, these are really important questions for the government. How much will it cost to get to 62 to 70% target by 2035? Those questions, if asked, have remained completely unanswered. With respect to the seats that, of course, we will be pitching for and presenting serious, credible, compelling policy alternatives at the next election. They do include the city seats. But I know that people in the city are struggling with affordability of energy costs. I know that people who work in areas that are dependent on energy-intensive industries, whether it be heavy industry, which we no longer seem to have any more of in this country because of the government's policy, whether it be the prospective data centres or AI that all require intensive energy, or whether it be something that is a local small business that is manufacturing from aluminium that is about to close down when Alcoa closes down. These are highly relevant questions to people in the cities. And I talk about mums with kids who are struggling to pay the bills, and I meet them in the cities all the time. Just coming along here.
From Senator Ruston, you've been doing a lot of work in this area. How does this policy meet the moment?
Well, I think the reality here is that we've got a policy before us at the moment, the Albanese government policy, that is seeing power prices go up and emissions not coming down. What we're saying is that we want to make sure that we put a policy in place that, first of all, is believable and achievable, that will put downward pressure on energy prices and obviously the cost of living, but at the same time has got a real and prospect of driving down emissions. We did it when we were last in government. We can do it again when we're in government, and I think Australians expect us to put downward pressure on their cost of living, but at the same time do our bit when it comes to emissions reduction.
Yes, ma'am.
I know we've touched on this, but I just want to ask you personally, do you support extending the life of coal-fired power stations, and would you support opening more of next-generation coal-fired power stations?
Well, I make the point that state governments who have their own climate targets are already extending the life of coal-fired power stations because they have to keep the lights on. Now, you just have to look at what happened in the Iberian blackout to know what does occur when a government or a jurisdiction doesn't take seriously the issue of baseload power. So one faulty photovoltaic inverter in an entire grid had a cascading effect that shut down the entire Iberian Peninsula, which had previously, the market operator there had been saying, look, we can run this on renewables, how good is this? And, you know, gave a real pitch for renewables being able to do it all. And then this happened. 11 people lost their lives, including people who couldn't breathe in ventilators because of a mismanagement of the grid. Now, that demonstrates that you need baseload power. You need it in the right place, you need it at the right time, you need it to provide inertia to the grid, and it is what keeps the lights on. So we're technology agnostic when it comes to pulling every lever that we can to make sure that Australians have reliable, affordable power. But every time we talk about that, you can also remind people, as we do, of our policy to have genuine reduction in emissions and play our part under the Paris Accord.